I have with me here today Todd Olson, who's Director of Product Marketing at Rally Software, and wanted to ask him a few questions. Rally's had a very interesting and productive week here at the Agile 2010 conference. They made a couple of key announcements, one about Rally's new Enterprise Integration Framework and its implications for the enterprise. So I wanted to get Todd's comments.
So this is a really key announcement because we walk into large enterprise. What we find is that we're not the only tool that they have. They've made large investments in legacy tools, whether it's for quality management, defect management, even homegrown tools to do some of these things, potentially CRM packages. But they want to integrate that information with data in Rally. For example, they want to start an Agile initiative. So what the integration framework does is allow you to have bi-directional synchronization of the artifacts in those systems with Rally. Make it so you can bring all the defects in from one of these systems, you can schedule them in iterations in Rally. Then when you close them, that data will propagate back to those systems. So it really fosters an easier time to adopt tools like Rally and Agile initiatives. And it becomes extremely interesting in distributed environments where you may have those different systems live at different sites, for example, maybe for an offshore testing team, and this links that team into your Agile initiatives. So it really fosters more collaboration.
Heard this week from a couple of analysts that Agile really isn't effective across large geographies, and wanted to get your take on that with this product, because it seems to change that.
Yeah, that's not what we're seeing. I mean, what we're seeing is that almost every company you deal with has distributed issues. So it's not a matter of if, it's just a matter of making sure you adapt your process to support the fact you're distributed. It's all about how you organize it. So every customer we have has some aspect of the business being distributed. I mean, if things weren't distributed, generally speaking, if everyone was sitting in one little room, they could probably sit on a whiteboard and not use a tool. Right. So where we excel is when you grow beyond that 10-person team and you have to start collaborating across office boundaries, building boundaries, state boundaries, and ultimately, global boundaries.
So Todd, another part of that announcement was the creation of the application SDK and services to create custom apps. I wonder if you might comment on that as well.
Absolutely. So this is awesome because this is about meeting the unique needs of large enterprises. So we find every company is different. There is no one-size-fits-all Agile. So Rally, while we provide great out-of-box support for the Agile basics, every company is something a little bit different. So Rally's platform can be extended with apps that you can plug into the platform, which interact with Rally data to extend it for new and interesting ways, whether it's enterprise dashboards, whether it's a new way of planning, whether it's supporting hybrid-style processes where you have to live within a waterfall-type program management office. It can be extended, and you can use service providers to actually write those extensions for you. So it's a really powerful way to really fit and tailor the Rally application to meet your unique needs.
One of the other releases that you pushed out this week was about enhancement of visualization, for the Agile Zen Kanban board.
Yep.
And that was quite interesting. I thought you might want to comment on that as well.
Yeah, Agile Zen is all about simplicity and ease of use. It's about visualizing your work. But what we find is customers want to break down that work and get a little more fine-grained control of what they visualize. For example, we see people that want individual personal Kanban boards. They want team-oriented boards. They want boards of just their defects or high-priority items. And a lot of times you'll see vendors try to cram all of it on one giant board, just like they're thinking about a whiteboard. But more often than not, our customers are using on computer screens, which is much, much smaller, and actually violates the whole principle of Kanban, which is visualization and ease of use. So what we've done at Agile Zen uniquely is adding filtering to the board so you can create filters to show just your defects or your team's items. Now we've applied that to the performance tab, which gives you cycle time, wait time, efficiency, all the metrics that you care about. And before we had simply aggregated metrics over the lifespan of your project, so a year's worth of information. Now you can filter and say, well, just for my red cards, which could be your high priority, or even your defects, what's my cycle time of that? It may be different. So when someone's asking you, you give them far better answers than what you would before. Plus, with date ranges, you know instinctively if you doubled the team in the last 2 weeks, the last 2 weeks cycle time is a better indicator of what's the real cycle time than a year's worth of information. You can use the date filters to get the information as well.
So it really begins to drive towards being able to analyze your real effectiveness.
Absolutely, right. So the difference between Kanban and Scrum you have a time box. Every 2 weeks something's floating out the door. You don't get that with Kanban. So what you need to do is supplement that with metrics, empirical information, so then you can forecast when work's going to come out the value stream.
One more question, and that is around your customer base at
Yes.
Rally. How is that changing? Do you see that moving from traditional ISVs to more product-centric companies? How does that mix seem
Well,
these
we're
days?
very strong in the ISV community. That's definitely our core base. But yeah, absolutely, we're seeing more and more growth in product-centric businesses. I think the big change we're seeing is just larger scale agile. I think people have figured out how to do agile on the 1 to 2 team basis, but now when you've got 100 teams doing coordinated development of both a hardware and software product, how do you do that in a meaningful way? How do you manage that? And that's a hard problem to solve.
So that changes the tools requirements, and that changes your business dramatically.
Everything changes everything.
Great.
Yeah.
Thanks, Todd. Appreciate your time.
Yeah. Thank you, Phil.